Okay guys, not the greatest news, but we've got Christmas coming up just around the corner. We've got a major storm, an Arctic blast coming down, and it's just gonna punch America right in the gut. With headlines reading, blackouts could hit Texas on Christmas as Arctic blasts threaten the grid. Last thing we needed to hear, many states are gonna be hit by this Arctic blast. Texas might relive the horrid February they had in 2021. I want you guys to be informed and prepared. What you need to know coming right up. Welcome back to all of our awesome subscribers. If you're brand new here, like news that affects you, prepping tips, emergency preparedness how-tos, be sure to hit that notification bell so you guys don't miss a beat. Let's jump into this one. First and foremost, guys, please share this out. A lot of people need this warning. We know what happened to specifically Texas last year. Power was out for an extended amount of time. Stores went empty. There was empty shelves everywhere. For those who didn't have water, couldn't even get water. A lot of people were not ready for that and they had to figure it out. Hard times for a lot of folks. Yet again, another emailed warning from one of our subscribers in Texas. And that's right, the week of Christmas. Can you imagine how it would be if you had no power, no heat for Christmas? Well, if things go as some meteorologists are predicting, that's exactly what's gonna happen. And we don't know if Texas is ready for it, along with other states. So before we go into how this Arctic blast is gonna come down and hit the rest of the United States, let's talk about the headlines with possibly Texas not having power for Christmas. In an article from Newsweek, it reads, Texas could have a dark and cold Christmas if this Arctic blast headed east continues in its path. Now we know in February of 2021, the grid in Texas, the power grid went down. Major power grid failure. 3 frigid storms attacking that area, leaving millions without power, without food, without water, food shortages, water shortages, empty shelves. You want to know how hard that storm and that failure hit that economy? It resulted a loss of at least $195 billion. Hear this. Since the 2021 power grid failure, other uncharacteristic storms have hit the Lone Star State of Texas, but none have threatened the grid to the same extent. According to one meteorologist, that could change by Christmas. Oh, all my friends in Texas, strap down, make sure you're prepared this time. Another reason, guys, to share this video out, make sure people are aware of this so that they can be prepared ahead of time. The meteorologists are also saying that Texas will be subject to much colder than normal temperatures for several days over Christmas. So if this mega blast comes down and hits as hard as they say it's gonna hit, and it does take out that power, the temperatures are expected to be much colder. This is the big story with this huge Arctic blast that's moving into the west first and then pushing east for Christmas. Unfortunately, the Texas grid is going to be tested again. How cold, you might ask? Well, for example, December 19th, the temperature is expected to be 17 degrees lower than normal on that date. And then it says on December 23rd, it could continue to dip through Christmas. The entirety of the state is expected to have a colder than normal temperatures, with normal central Texas subject to the coldest temperatures as low as 30 degrees colder than the state's average. I know from our officials, you're not gonna expect them to be delivering fear or too much concern. Governor Greg Abbott has some hope. Let's hear what he has to say.
A very substantial winter storm coming into Texas over the next few days that will be in the state of Texas for the remainder of the week. There will be thousands upon thousands of miles of roads that will be extraordinarily dangerous. No one can guarantee that there won't be a, quote, load shed event. But what we will work and strive to achieve and what we're prepared to achieve is that the power is going to stay on across the entire state.
Okay, so I know he's trying to be promising. That's his job. For millions of people's sake, that states are in a better position than they were previous. Have they taken steps to be exercised again? And being exercised with another huge major storm, maybe even a more powerful storm, Are they going to be able to make it? Because with meteorologists putting out the reports they're putting out, that's why we're reading headlines that read blackouts could hit Texas on Christmas as Arctic Blast threatens the grid. And that's not good news for a lot of people. Let's see what ABC 13's putting out. Their headline reads, Arctic cold for Christmas. Here's what we know about next week's front with the rest of the surrounding states. This is how it's going to hit you.
And there's the potential of a significant Arctic cold front next week. I'm ABC 13 chief meteorologist with what we know and mostly what we don't know about the potential Arctic front coming to North America right ahead of Christmas weekend. But let's pull out the weather globe to show you what is happening here with the upper air pattern. Our focus is going to be around Alaska and off the Pacific Northwest coastline, where something is developing called a blocking high. That's when high pressure in the upper atmosphere, the area of warm air aloft, bubbles up towards Alaska. And when this occurs, it typically will lead to a reconfiguration of where the cold air in Siberia is going to go. It's going to go over the pole and then work its way into North America. So when that happens, that allows an Arctic invasion to occur. It's similar to what happened in February of 2021. So as we head towards the end of next week, we are looking at some bitter cold air working its way into northwest Canada and eventually come down the plains, potentially here in Texas. We do not yet know exactly how we will be impacted. A lot of options on the table, and today I've got computer models saying it'll be a white Christmas in Houston with morning lows Christmas Day in the single digits and teens. Possible? Yes, but that's not our likely forecast at this time. But we can say that that Arctic air does look like it's going to come into the northern plains, might just so happen to make it all the way through the state of Texas. And if it does, it could go towards the extreme end. A lot of snow is going to fall to our north over the next 10 days. And the more snow that you pack into the plains, the colder that air is. It stays refrigerated as it works its way down towards Texas. Big blizzard coming for the plains with the storm system rolling through this week, and that's going to leave a lot of snowpack on the ground. And then this weekend, there may be another layer of snow put down in the southern plains, parts of Texas, into Oklahoma. It would be after that, towards the end of next week, right before Christmas weekend, when some of that Arctic chill could work its way here into southeast Texas. Next week, we're on Arctic watch. Right now, it looks like the earliest that would make it here, more than likely, would be Thursday, just a few days before Christmas. And we'll have to wait and see how severe the cold is and whether or not we'll have that overlap of moisture. That, yes, could potentially lead to some wintry precipitation. Rest assured, we'll let you know what we know, and as soon as we see it, keeping you informed and aware as the holiday approaches.
So like I said, I'm not trying to spread fear, but there's meteorologists saying that it could be bad. And what do? I help you be prepared by bringing awareness so you guys know what to expect. But for anyone, no power on Christmas, cold temperatures, doesn't sound good. But what's worse than that? No power, cold conditions on Christmas, and not being prepared. It's all about being prepared, not scared. So you guys know what we do on our channel. We teach you guys about power outages, food shortages, food preparation, long-term food storage, emergency heat sources, how to make emergency heat. For when you get those power outages, you got to know how to have emergency heat, emergency light, and emergency cooking. And well, you guys are getting warned nearly a week early. So you guys have a week to get prepared, get ready for at least this Arctic blast that's gonna come in. We don't know what's gonna happen, but they're warning us that this Arctic blast could come with a punch and it's gonna land right at Christmas. So be sure you have a water source or a purifying source, extra water on hand. Make sure you have some food stocked up, enough food to get you through a week, if not a week, 2 weeks. We would want to hope that they could get things wrapped up and fixed in a couple weeks. But if you're not already prepped out, start with a week, shoot for 2 weeks, get stuff that won't go bad for a couple months, and get stuff that you're already gonna use so it's the same money you would spend anyway. The last thing that you want is to go to those grocery stores and find out they're either closed because they don't have power, can't take your payment because everything's electronic now, or even worse, find out that there's food shortages. You show up to the store, food shortages because they ransacked all the stores, everybody in panic mode, and you're left with empty shelves. What do you do now? Travel to another part of the state, a different state, just to get what you need in Arctic blast conditions? Definitely not ideal. So like I said, it doesn't take too much effort to be prepared for at least a short time power outage. We've got videos that help you with inexpensive, expensive options, emergency heat, emergency light, and emergency cooking. Have sleeping bags, extra warm clothes, wool, down is also a good option. Most of all, having that sense of security that you're ready in case the storm hits. Anyway, guys, I knew that this could be a big warning for a lot of you out there, and you got a week. It's a week warning. Enough time to be somewhat prepared. Don't forget to share this out. Like it if you found this helpful. Keep prepping, keep learning, keep doing, guys. We'll see you on the next one.